Hello friend, it is Pat Sloan and it is Wednesday, yes, and our daily chat. So first let's do the topic of the day, and I've got sort of like bag love, bag convention, bag hoarding, whatever you want to call it, bags. I love bags. I've talked about this before, but I have a little tip. Because one of the things is we use our bags very efficiently, don't we? We put stuff in them and then we stack them or store them or hang them or do whatever we're going to do with the bag. Sometimes, well, for me, all the time, I have one bag inside another bag and there's probably another bag inside of that. So like the project bag, and inside the project bag might be bags for threads or scissors, and then that goes into a bigger bag so I can take it with me wherever I'm going. And maybe I have a couple of those in there. So here's one of the things that I noticed about working with my bag is that the cross stitch project that I was showing you the other day, I have this great bag for it. Here, let's look at this again. Whoops. Okay, so I got the great bag for it, and I found a pull. Whoops. There's a super cute, I can't get it turned. There we go. The super cute pull for it. And I have this bag which has a gusset. Here so that it can stand up. You know, it's got the gusset on it, so it's got a nice bottom on it. You can fill it up with good stuff. And I had put my cross stitch in there for the Happiness is Homemade. So I did the Happiness is Homemade as I'm working on this very slowly, because really my goal is to work on that. So whatever strength I can have for the day, that goes to that first. But I've got the cross stitch going. See, I did a little bit more. See on the house down there? Yes, it's coming along. So this fits in that bag. But what I found is that when I put this in the bag and it was all closed up like this, I forgot about it. I forgot that I wanted to work on it. I forgot that it was kind of there. It just became part of the scenery of the room. So for me personally, I need to have current things I want to work with out more a little bit, like a little bit more visible. So I am going to take the rolling cart now. I'm going to switch this back up, because originally this was just on the top of the rolling cart like that, so that it was there and I could just pick it up, do a little bit and put it back down. So I'm going to convert back to that and then save the bag for when maybe I'm going to put it away for a little bit, or put a different project in that bag that I'm not currently working on, a different cross stitch that I'm not currently doing, and store it in that bag. All right, so that is the thoughts on bags. So what today's topic is take a look around, see what and how you are using your bags. How are you using them? You know, are they efficient? Are they effective? Do you somehow hide things in them that you really would rather be working on? And would it be better to just put things in it, like me, that are not currently on the top of the list to be worked on? Because really what I'm trying to do is this and this cross stitch this month, because they both give me a little bit of motion and a little bit of deeply needed energy for my soul, which is sewing something. Okay. So there we go, our bag thoughts for the day. Bag thoughts. Okay, what else is today? It's Wednesday. That's Block Wednesday, and we have going on a picnic, and it's block number, I think it's 7, and the topic for block number 7 is where to have your picnic. So here's the block, and done in just 2 fabrics. So you can see it's kind of a lightning bolt type of block. Now let's come down here and look, because what I love to show options. You know, what are some other ways this block could make? You can make a whole quilt with just 2 fabrics in this block, but why just use 2 fabrics when you could use more? So what if you had done it with, you know, like 2 fabrics, but the other fabric had was a little more zippy? So theirs would be a great second fabric. And then for those of you who are like really want a fussy cut, what would you do? Would you make all of the lines go the same way, so that over here you would cut it this way, here you would cut it this way, so that the lines are always going the same way? Would that be how your brain would work? All right, I'd like to see that one made up. The other thing would be to take, and there are how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 different sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you wanted to, you could do 6 fabrics, something like this, which I think is, there we go, really amazing. You could do the lights where the light is, and the navies where the aqua is on this. And you could do any combination. You could come over and grab from the pile, whatever pile, you know, my pile has peach. I could do peach and aqua. See, there you go. Like I could do the whole thing with peaches and aquas. I also have got some gold in here, so that would be kind of cool. Like I could even do gold and this aqua, which would be really neat. So there are ways to handle this block that you do not need to have. You don't have to have just 2 fabrics. If you want, have a few more. And then if you were doing like a whole quilt with this, with all of these, you could like repeat all those. It'd be lots and lots of fun. Oh, I know. Got to show you the back. Remember, Anne made all of my blocks for me. And so I'll bring you down closer. So Anne did mostly pressing to the dark side where she could. Like, and this is like one, there we go. So this would be like one row. So these are units, right? They're all the same unit. And what she did is she pressed all those to the dark when she made all the 2 units. And then when she got to sewing 2 units together, she pressed however it worked best. Like here, she pressed to the solid because it lays flatter. Here's the tip. So it will lay flatter if you, there's a seam here. If you were to press towards the seam side, it might not lay quite as flat. But if you press towards the flat where there's no seam, this will make a flatter block on the front. So that is an option you can think about, where you find seams and no seams on either side. Okay, there's the front again. Ta-da, ta-da. Alrighty. So let me show you what's going on with that scrapper on the wall. So I am on a bit of a mission. Here we go, all the way up, 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 up. So I've got the top 2 rows done, yes. And then I've got all the sashings on the next 2. And then I've got the bottom row to do between each one. And then I am definitely going to do to the 12.5-inch strip and then a cornerstone for all of that inner border, because I think it'll just look a lot nicer to have those pops of turquoise all the way around. I find that from a design element, often the inner border doesn't need to have that extra work. It's still effective from a design standpoint with just being a solid inner border, solid strip. But there are times when I think it really is much more effective for the quilt to make the cornerstones go into the inner border. So that is what I'm going to do. Now, I'm still debating on that 9-patch outer border. I love the concept of it. Right now, I'm not loving the colors. So we'll see. Maybe I might need to do all red and white, or I might need to not do it. Do something else. I don't know. Maybe it needs a piano key. A piano key is strips. So maybe it needs to be, you know, strips of red around the outside. I don't know. I don't have strips of red. So I only have like 2.5-inch squares cut. So we will see. We will see where that goes. That's one of those things with working with what you have and where you are in your life. You know, you have to you can make decisions. And quilts are not, you know, I'm not painting a Picasso. You know, it is a quilt. And so this is a quilt to just let me be creative every day a little bit while I'm trying to heal up enough to do normal sewing. So for me, it doesn't have to be this grand masterpiece. It just needs to be nice and use what I already have. All right, that is the essence of my scrap quilt philosophy. Okay, I want to answer one question. This is a question that would be hard to answer long without, like, you know, like a whole series or something. But Christy asked, which I think it'd be really nice to hear from all of you too. So Christy asked, you know, what are some best methods of organizing a small room. So for me, it's sort of I love organizing. I love getting everything out. I love making it tidy. I love making it efficient so that I have the things that I really use. And so I think, Christy, the best way to handle it is, and I know this sounds insane, is really you have to take assessment of what you own, what you have, and you need to look at your space. I mean, can it actually all fit in there? If not, then you need to put the things you really use the most in the space. And then if there's things you don't use very much, let's say like a big roll of batting, is there another place in your home that can be stored? Or do you not need, or should you not be buying a big roll of batting anymore and just buy the batting when you need it? Because then you don't have to store any batting. Those are things to think about when you have a small space. My home is small, and because I run a business, I have got quilt stuff in almost every room of my house. No, but probably every room. Maybe Greg's bathroom doesn't have any quilts in it. There's a quilt in the powder room downstairs. Yeah, but when you have a small space, I think this is a great conversation that would be like a much bigger than just here, but the core of it, I think the essence of working with a small space is taking what you really use and putting that in there first, eliminating everything else. So I do that by pulling it all out and sorting it out of the room. So the room is totally empty. Get efficient storage. Put it in the most efficient place in your room. Like if you have doors in the closet, do you really need doors in a closet for a small room? Maybe you can take the doors off. Maybe you can put then shelving in there, so it's like an open cubicle kind of a thing with all kinds of shelving. Maybe that's most efficient for what you have. But you need to look at first the core things you are using all the time, and what are they, and is it get that narrowed down, and then figure out how it can go back in there, and then what space is left. And some people don't mind working in a very sort of full area. They don't mind if everything's very full and just a lot of stuff in the room. That doesn't bother them. Other people, that is not, it's not a good work environment for them, which would be me. I prefer to have much more clear, more open space for me. But you have to know yourself. So that's another aspect of this. So it's really just taking that first step to do all that analysis. When you do, write me, and then we can talk about the next step. All right, my friend. Thank you, everybody. Check the links down below, and I will see you online. I love you. Mwah.